Okay, part 2. This is going to be platforms, checkpoints, loops, and Boolean variables. So we want to be in section 2. So we're going to press number 2, which is right here. So we've built this little pathway over here. And now we want to go to our content drawer. And we're going to go to blueprints. And we're going to grab this checkpoint and just drop it in. So this is going to be our checkpoint where we respawn if we happen to not make it. And if you see this little arrow, it's pointed that way. So what's happening is when you respawn, you're going to be facing that way. So let's first things first, rotate this so it's pointed towards where we want the player to go. So hit rotate objects, rotate it, and there we go. Oh, if you have not found this map, again, all you do is content drawer, find the maps, level HOC world, double click it, and it'll load this map up for you. Good, good, good. All right, so let's go ahead and test it. All right, I'm going to run over there. Makes a cute sound, that's great. And then I'm going to ride this over. And now there's nowhere to go. So what I want to do is I want to get to that ledge over there, right here. So to do that, we're going to add platforms like we did last time. So those were static meshes. And I'm just going to grab one of these. And I'll set it. And then I will move it. And then I will make another one. So I'm going to hit Shift Alt and pull out. And there's another one. And then I will Shift Alt, pull out again, and make another one. And then maybe I'll do a little rotation. Okay, let's play it and make sure I can get across. That's not good. All right, I'm going to hit number 2. We'll just jump through. There we go. All right, so far so good. I can't make it up there. Boo. Okay, that's fine. So what I need to do is, let's go ahead and move this up a little bit. There we go. And I'll play from here. There we go. Okay, so here's where we want to end up. All right, and it all works. All right, so we're good. Now let's go ahead and add a checkpoint here. Content drawer, blueprints, checkpoint. And again, the arrow is pointed toward the wall, so let's rotate it. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and start making these platforms move. So to do that, first thing we want to do, select the platform. And this island is called SM Floating Island _ S69. So let's change this name. I'm just going to double click it. Maybe. I guess not. Okay. I think it's F2. Yeah, F2. All right, so I'm just going to change this to let's say SM _ plat _1. So that's short for platform. Then we have number 2, rename SM _ plat _ 02. And then we have SM F2 SM _ plat _ 03. And then I'm going to select them all. What world's it now? Details panel. All right, these were not showing earlier. And what I did was I just closed my details panel. And then it was all showing. Then I went back to window, details, details 1. And now it's all back. So I want to select 1, 2, 3. These are the renamed platforms that I just did. And I'm going to create a sequence. So to do that, it's surprisingly easy. Content drawer. All right, we want to be in our sequences folder. Sequences folder. There's already one here. This is the sequence when you first get into this room where you ride that platform that goes across the little pit. So, add. Animation. No, cinematics. Cinematics. Level sequence. And let's call this level sequence SM _ plat. All right, so now we have our sequence created, and we need to place it in our world. So I'm going to place it right here next to my checkpoint. Content drawer, SM plat. There we go. Okay, so now we have our sequence. Let's get to it. Open it up. And you'll notice it looks surprisingly similar to Blender and Adobe Premiere, because it is. So let's go ahead and first click on this create key. And now what we need to do is bring these 3 objects in here. So with these 3 selected, that's the platforms that we just added. We're going to right click, actor to sequencer, add current selection 3 actors, right? So those platforms are the 3 actors. And now we have them 1, 2, and 3. All right, so here is our sequence. Right now it's going to 150 frames, right? 150 frames, and they're running at 30 frames per second. So what we want to do when the player's here and getting ready to jump onto the platform, let's give the player a chance to jump before it moves, but we'll not give them too much of a chance. So we're going to scrub over to 15. So that's frame 15, and we're running at 30 frames per second. So you're giving the player a half second of no movement before something happens. So now we want to add a keyframe here. So from this point to this point, there's nothing happening. Now, let's go ahead and scrub over to 45. So now this is going to be 30 frames, so 1 second of time. Let's add another keyframe. And then let's move this platform somehow. All right. So now my platform's moved. And then when I scrub, I can see, oh yeah, it is moving. All right, so now let's go another 15 seconds, or half second, 15 frames of nothingness. So there's going to be nothing going on here, right? Nothing. So we're going to add a keyframe here. So we have nothing going on. So nothing, movement, nothing, and then we're going to, let's get it to come back right here. No, right here, 90. Okay, so we can eyeball it and move this back. Let's add a keyframe real quick. We can eyeball it. Oh no, let's not add a keyframe. That's a bad idea. Okay, so we can eyeball this, add a keyframe, and get it as close as we can to the original state. Or we could just hover over this one, right click, copy, and then paste it right here. And we're going to paste the location. So now it's going to go exactly where it was before. So we have calm, movement, calm, movement. That looks pretty good. So now let's do another 15-second break. Or I'm sorry, 15 frame break, 15 frame. And we'll end it right here. So we're going to grab this red bar, this red line, pull it over, and that's where it's going to stop. So again, calm, movement, calm, movement, calm, and then it's going to loop again, right? So this right here is actually going to be 15 frames plus another 15 frames. So it's going to be a full second on the loop. So full second on the loop, movement, half second, 1 second movement, and then another 1 second. And now we need to make it actually happen, because if we press play from here, it's not moving. So yeah, it's not moving. That's not what we want. So let's go ahead and add the loop. And the loop makes it go over and over and over again. Before we do that, save your work. We've got that little asterisk right here. Click it. Now it's saved. The sequence is saved. Looks good. And we're going to go into our details panel for Plat 1, and we're going to look for playback. Not physics, not collision, not lighting. I'm not seeing it. Okay, I'm just going to do a search. Play. Why is that not working? Caps lock maybe? That's weird. Let me open my drawer. Select. Oh, do I have? Oh, duh. It's because I don't have my sequence selected. Right, so I have to have my sequence selected, which I just added right here. And then look, there it is. Playback right away. Okay, so sequence selected. We're going to click auto play. And we're going to loop indefinitely, so it's just going to continue the same movement over and over again. So now let's select my platform, play from here. And it's working. Okay. So now let's do another one. And we're going to do the same thing. Let's have this one. Maybe we'll spin it a little bit just so it looks a little different. There we go. No, let's move it this way. Okay. So I'm going to have that same break. I'm going to add a keyframe. Scroll over. Add another keyframe. Right, and this time I'm on platform 2. And then let's rotate it this time. And then let's have a break of nothing. And then scrub over. And we're going to copy and paste. And this time we're going to do rotation, right? Because I rotated it. Actually, we can just do everything. It's fine. All right, so now we have a little rotation going on here, a little movement going on here. And then let's go platform 3. We're going to add a keyframe. And then we're going to scooch it over. Add another keyframe. And let's scale it this time. Add another keyframe. Scoot it over. Copy. Paste. All right, so now we have quite a bit going on. So let us test it out. I'll play from here. Right, I'm probably not going to make it because I'm not that good at this. Yeah. Okay, let's go play from here. All right, I'm going to hit the checkpoint so now I can survive if I fall. Go for a ride. Hit the next checkpoint. All right, so now I'm in business. Jump on there. Whoa. There we go. All right, we did it. So it is possible. So now let's go ahead and add another checkpoint. We're done with the sequencer for now, so let's close it up. Open up our content drawer. Find our blueprints and drop our checkpoint here. All right, let's go ahead and save while we are at it. Okay, so that was loops and checkpoints and platforms. But this checkpoint has a lot going on, right? So let's check it out. Content drawer, blueprints. All right, here's our checkpoint blueprint. Double click it. And this is where the magic happens. So we have in our blueprint the event graph, which is this. So just like Bane, all the stuff that makes it happen. And then we have our viewport, which is the actual object. Event graph, viewport. Let's go pull out the event graph. So now I have two of them, right? And let's make one the viewport and one the event graph. So this is the blueprint, this is our checkpoint, and this is everything that's happening for this checkpoint. Within the checkpoint, we have all these items, right? So we have the cylinder, the ring, this sphere coil, the arrow checkpoint transform, right? So the arrow, and then the word checkpoint. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the arrow. This checkpoint transform is actually where you're pointing, right? So that's why we rotated it, because of this right here. So let's see what's going on. Okay. On component, begin overlap, sphere coil. So this is the sphere coil right here. And what this is saying is once something hits this sphere coil, touches it, overlaps it, collides with it, it's going to start this chain of events or this program. So to the right of these is the output, to the left is the input, and this is basically like the go, go, go. So we have on component, begin overlap sphere coil. So your player runs into the coil. It sends this over here. And then we have this true false which is also a yes, no, which is also a Boolean, right? Boolean is just a true or false statement. That's called a Boolean. So it shoots over, boom. If it's true that the component has been touched, then it's over, the end of the program. If it's false, then we move on to the next set piece, right? Boom. So what happens here, once it gets triggered, it's going to now enable the checkpoint so that the next time this is true. So when you touch it again, it's not going to reset. It's just going to do nothing, right? Because it ends. So the first time it's false, it comes over here, it changes the checkpoint to yes, it is good to go. So this is now the end. And meanwhile, we shoot over to the next piece. Boom. So the next piece is where the color changes. The target is this piece. The parameter is the color. The value, which is the actual color, right? This is just saying it's going to be a color. It's going to be blue. So when it's enabled, it triggers the blue. This changes to blue. And then we're off to the next one. This one gets kind of wacky. So what's happening is the blueprint is sending the information to the game, right? So it's sending it to actual gameplay. This game mode is the information. Spawn location is where they're putting the player. Cast to BP hour of code game, that's actually the information being sent. Get world transform, so this is saying where you are supposed to place or spawn the player. So this is going to be the information of where, the location, the rotation, like where's it turned, and the scale, how big or small. And then the checkpoint transform is where you're setting the player. So that's all pretty cool. But what does it really mean? Let's go play our game. Okay. Oh, let's go play our game where we want to play it. Okay, here we go. This is better. Okay, so I've got this checkpoint. Actually, let me just add another checkpoint. That will probably be easier. Content drawer. Blueprints. Man, where is it? I'm going to dock this back up here for a minute. And dock this up here. Okay, content drawer. Okay, here we go. World. Blueprint checkpoint. Okay, here's the checkpoint. All right, so I'm going to make this checkpoint larger. So I'm going to get my scale. And I'll move it over a little bit. And then I will play from here. All right, everything's cool. I've hit my checkpoint, and now I'm going to try to make my jump, but oh no, I missed. But now I am a behemoth, giant, super giant guy. And then if I go back to this one, I jump off. I'm normal size again, right? So what's going on here is the scaling of my checkpoint is also rescaling my character, which could be cool if I'm creating like an Alice in Wonderland type game, but I'm not, and this giant behemoth still has that limited jumping ability, so we don't want that. So here's how we fix it. Let's get to our blueprint, and it's in all this action right here. I'm going to scoot this down. Now remember, this is where our location, rotation, and scale was. So I'm going to disconnect this. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to remember this necessarily, like you just bust it out whenever you want. Just know that it is possible and that this is where you're going to look. And then you can always find the documentation on how to do it somewhere online very easily. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to hit, I think it's Alt click. Yeah, Alt click. So now I've taken this piece off, right? So there's no location, rotation, scale. It's dead like Bane. So I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to split struct pin. Split struct pin. So that breaks this pin into the 3 location, rotation, and scale. And I want my location, right, because I want it to spawn at that location. And then let's go ahead and compile it. And notice it created this little converter. So these colors all go together. Blue to blue, white to white, white to white, blue to blue. But I have this yellow connecting to the orange. So in between here, they've created automatically this converter. So let's go ahead and try this out now. Okay, I'm regular sized. Jump off. And I'm still regular sized, so that's cool. But when I die, I'm pointed to maybe not where I want to be pointed. So we want to include the rotation in this. So let's go back to our blueprint. And we see that's not connected anywhere, right? The rotation's not connected anywhere. So right now we only have the location set. We don't have the rotation or the scale anywhere. And we don't want the scale. We only want the rotation and location. So let's go ahead and grab this blue, put it in there. And now we have what looks like a disaster. Right, we've got this here, something going here. We've got this connected going into the spawn location. And now we have location going nowhere, right? Because it comes in, but then there's no out. So that's bad news. But if we check out this make transform, this actually has the location, right? So yellow to yellow, and then it goes yellow to yellow, and then orange to orange. So all we have to do is just get rid of this one, the converter. Connect it. And you're golden. And that's how you do it. Once you've done this, compile it, save all your work, and play.